Yo, what's up with it? It's your boy Noonie. It's Leo in the third house, and we back with another reading.
Yo, what's up with it? This is your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house, back with another reading. This is going to be another pick a card reading. We're going to be asking a question: why are people currently obsessing over you? All right, now this isn't really about who. I'm gonna shoot out some signs because the signs are going to show up. You know, it could be yours, could be somebody else's sign, but we're just going to see why people are, not really who is. Now, if that shows up, it shows up. But, obsession is really just deep emotions that people haven't actually taken the time to dive deeper into and inspect. So this could be anger, it could be jealousy, it could be lust, it could be love, or affection, some type of affection that people may have for you that they haven't fully processed, or even dove deep into. So it's just that feeling and that lingering of them not being quite sure why they feel so strongly about you. And this is just kind of the reasons of why they're doing that, right? As always, thanks to those people who be liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, trusting me on this journey and being there with me. I appreciate all that love and support y'all gave me. I'm definitely hoping I make it to 45. Well, I'm not hoping. I'm just going to do the work. So that's going to be that. But I definitely can't wait to be there. That's going to be exciting. It's exciting where we are right now. So I thank all of y'all for being here with me as always. And thanks to those people who booked those personal readings. That's where I've been at for the past few days. Thanks to those people who booked those personal readings and those friends who donated. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you. Okay, without doing too much talking, let's just get started. Oh, also those 3 winners. I forgot. The 3 winners, you guys got 72 hours. So I'll post this video today, but you guys got 72 hours from when I made that post on my comment, on my community tab. So check in there, see if your name is in there, see if you won. If I don't hear from you guys in 72 hours, then I'm going to go to my runner-ups and offer it to them. But thank you for supporting me, however it plays out. Appreciate it, Anyway, 4 piles, right? Pile 1, pile 2. Pile 3, pile 4. Take a second. Might be 1 pile, might be all piles, might be a couple piles, or maybe might be no piles. Sorry to hear that. All right, so pick your pile. I'm gonna get started over here with pile 1. Boom, pile 1. So pile 1. Why are people obsessing over you? Okay. So you went through a rebirth, a transformation. You could be a Leo, you could be a Scorpio, you could be a Virgo or a Gemini, could be a Taurus, could be an Aquarius. And I have Leo and Scorpio again. So okay. So, okay, I see that. I like that. All right, so pretty much you're an independent person. All right, you're an independent, pretty much a courageous type of person, very nurturing. But I get this, it's not selfish. It's selfish, not in the sense of like negativity. Maybe to others it could be considered negative. But it's more of this energy of like nurturing yourself, because we have Ceres, and Ceres it represents motherhood. Okay, so we're gonna get a little deep into astrology, just briefly, right? So Ceres in astrology represents like the mothering aspect, either being able to nurture other people or to allow other people to nurture you. Now, if you have it in like a debilitated state or debilitated house or debilitated planet, it's debilitated house. So if it's in it, or debilitated sign, all right? If it's in, maybe am I saying it right? Maybe I'm not saying it right. But anyway, if it's in a sign where it's not at its strongest peak, it could indicate issues with allowing other people to love you, or you being able to nurture people, right, in like a healthy way, or nurture people in the way that they need it. So with this cat spirit, I would get you as being very independent and maybe not nurturing other people, because I'm also seeing the Queen of Cups upright with the Magician in reverse. Now, the Magician in reverse, we normally consider that to be manipulative, right? And this doesn't always have to be in a negative sense, because we think of manipulation as like negativity, like in the sense of like, you're getting over on someone, but not necessarily. What it means in this case is you manipulate the situation so that you get a good outcome, and it doesn't mean that they don't get what they're looking for as well. Now they feel like you live in like a, I almost want to say like a dreamy state, or like a made up state. Like you don't. Maybe your like your requirements or your your expectations are high. Like that's what the vibe is. It's like because you've transformed this energy of being disillusioned emotionally. Like, so people used to work games with you emotionally. All right, and so now you got into this stage now where you work your instinct. You trusting your own instinct. And cat spirit is an independent thinker. They roam, they do their own thing. They don't need other people. So like you've beaten codependency. You don't need other people for you to feel at peace with yourself. Now, you may have a lot of options because we got fork in the road. And that might be where the manipulation comes in, because you may not openly express emotions. You may, because magician can slightly be strategical. Swords in reverse can sometimes be like, we consider it manipulation, but it's just a way of using the mind in a way that's going to benefit you most. So maybe when you share your feelings and emotions, it's in a way that you've already kind of like pre-planned, already thought out about how you'll do it, like strategically, and it could come off as slightly not emotional, but slightly manipulative. All right. Then you have the world here in reverse. Okay, so people might feel like you might be like leading them astray, or leading them into like, I want to say like the word that comes to my mind is purgatory, where they don't really go anywhere, because you have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is the before tarot. So this is before he even grabbed or committed to, taking a journey with this pentacle, even though he's on a slow journey with the pentacle. So you may not make it clear with other people where you want the situation to go. You might even be hesitant on whether you want situations to go. So that means like new friends, new lovers, new opportunities. You might just be kind of, slow to act on them because you're very independent. People, they obsess over this energy of you having a large ego. So you could be a Leo. Because that's the big thing. And this independence is like you're very independent. They say that pride may get in your way, but you're not allowing people to use emotions and feelings over you. You've learned that power dynamic. With this Pluto energy, you've learned that power dynamic, and you've learned how to nurture yourself, but you may not be the most nurturing to other people. You might just focus solely on your craft, or focus solely on your work or your pentacle, your money, your stability, your health, like practical matters. You may just stick with those things. And then people feel like you live in a reality, or like not reality, but in like a la-la land or a dream space where the expectations you have for others aren't real in their mind. Like they don't feel like people can match your expectations. And so you have your third eye chakra. So you have a very keen outlook on life, or at least a keen perception of yourself. And which also reflects back into the world. And so they obsess over the way that you have clarity about what it is that you want, or what it is that you desire. And you have like a natural instinct, because you have instinct here as well. You have that natural instinct of knowing what's the best road or best path for you, like what works best for you. And with the Magician in reverse, it's still an energy of knowing how to get things done. It's just not always in the best interest of everyone at heart, or everyone who's involved. Now, like I said, with this world in reverse, you could kind of keep people stuck in cycles, or stuck, maybe trapped in that same. I want to kind of feel like you either you keep old lovers where you keep them trapped in this energy of like, because they're naked. I can't show it to you too well, but this energy of kind of like of intimacy. You keep maybe old lovers around, or options around. You kind of keep just options around, is what it really feels like. And that's why a lot of people obsess over you, because maybe they want to be part of the options, maybe they want to be involved with you, but there's energy of you just more so connecting with your higher self, connecting with yourself, your own intuition, and what works best for you, and just being comfortable and confident alone, because this cat spirit sticks out the most. Being very confident and comfortable alone, and not able to be fooled with the emotional game. Excuse me. and not being able to be fooled with the emotional games. And because Pluto is here, Pluto represents power dynamics. So where people might have once got you, it means that now you have the power. So that might be what's going on here. This could be like old friends, old lovers who you've changed the tide on, and now you have the power. So maybe people were disillusioning you before, and maybe you're a person who disillusions them now. So you could be that type of person. But whatever it is, it's like you have this energy of being slow to commit, slow to make anything ground or to ground anything. You do have a lot of emotional feelings here, but it feels like you expect people to be something that they're not. Like you have high expectations, and you expect almost perfection. Because that Eight of Pentacles could also speak to perfecting something. So you do have this energy of perfectionism or expecting things to be perfect. Which is that Virgo energy. So you could be into something like that. Have a Virgo placement, have a Gemini placement, have a Leo placement, or a Scorpio placement, Taurus placement, Aquarius placement. But it's just that energy of expecting things a certain way because you're just so independent and you don't need for anyone to nurture you or take care of you or be stable or do anything for you. And you have a lot of options, you have a lot of opportunities. Pretty much the roads are open for you to take, to take the next step. But it's just that you take a long time to decide whether you want to make something grounded or make something stable. You haven't even decided whether you'd like to take that long journey with anyone. It's just options. So like I say, you may just be more of a person who has intimate relationships, and partnerships that maybe are from the past, who maybe not always be the best, may not be the best friends, or they're just out of complacency is the word. It's like complacency, because the world in reverse could also be complacency, running the same race, the same marathon, not getting anywhere. So it could be that. Could be that energy. But that's why they obsess over you. So this could be a lot of people from your past, or if it's new people, it's just people who kind of see you keeping people like in a loop where they're not really quite moving forward or getting anywhere with you, So that's why people obsess over you. Power 1. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and this Leo in the 3rd house. Boom. Pile 2. So, pile 2. Why are people obsessing over you? Some type of creative passion, some type of creative project, your home, and your stability. So your routine, your schedule, because you could be a Virgo, you could be a Leo, you could be a Cancer, you could be a Gemini, you could be an Aries, or you could be a Libra. So for sure, because we have Libra here, that makes you attractive. And the 5th house is usually a house of having fun. It's like your nightlife, in your birth chart. It'd be considered like the nightlife. It's your short-term connections. It's your friends. It's entertainment. It's kids. It's minor love. So it's in sex. So it's lightheartedness. So there's that energy of you being maybe a free thinker, an artist, a creator, a manifester, and then you have be here, be now. So this is like whatever you're doing is, and I get like you're adding finishing touches here with clean it up. So maybe you have a clean house, and you're self-sustainable, because cow spirit represents, and it says the miracles are endless. Cow spirit also represents that energy of how do I explain it? Cow spirit is like the things that you've been working at, like projects, creative tasks, if you've been trying to like work on your health, or just the things that you've been putting effort into to nourish yourself are coming true, and they're coming in. And then you also have energy is gaining momentum. So probably a creative project that you have going on has built some level of stability. Maybe you do this regularly, because 6th house represents the things that you do regularly on a regular basis, and or because 5th house can also be about like the inner child. So it could be like your inner child, like you're allowing your inner child to come out and play now, because hummingbird spirit is also a playful spirit as well. It's a spirit that normally darts up and around and around, but here when it finds a nectar that it really enjoys, it spends its time there. And that's how this passion is probably what's bringing a lot of people into obsessing about you because it's connected to this hummingbird spirit. Now, some people might feel like, okay, because look, I'm getting another story here. Because this is a whole nother story here. Okay, so you may be doing something here that's stable, and you might be putting the finishing touches on it, or you might be not perfecting it, but you might be kind of like tightening it up. You know what I mean? Something about your home and your passion. But sustainability can also represent work, because it's the sixth house, so it can also represent work and like miraculously making ends or making money or making things happen with your stability. All right, because this has to do with you being able to connect with other people and finding a common ground with people. You know, but they have you also. So okay, so they feel like you're being insincere with the way that you. Some people feel like you're being insincere with the way that you share with others. They feel like you aren't giving as much, or you aren't being as generous with people as you're putting on. They feel like you're the emperor and the justice in reverse. Well, the emperor upright and the justice in reverse, which would be like an unfair tyrant, someone who doesn't really have integrity, but still forces things to be their way. So they may be feeling like you're a person who's in charge or someone who's in authority, but is just using their power in ill-gotten ways. You know, because the Six of Pentacles with the Page of Cups gives me that insincere, you know, like not like kind of holding back on expressing yourself, the true you. You know, not really wanting to be all the way honest. You know, what the Page of Swords could also be a dishonest person, but a Page of Cups is more dishonest about the way that they express their feelings. So this would be like showing camaraderie to people, and they feel like you're not being genuine. You know what I mean? So maybe they feel like you're not being genuine with what you offer, or they're kind of like counting your money. You know, because there's that energy of people kind of worrying about how you're making money, because you have sustainability, you have connecting with people, and you have cleaning it up. And then the miracles are endless. And then, you know, people are pretty much like bowling over. So it's like a frustration here, because, you know, hummingbird spirit is like a free spirit as well. It's a bird. So whenever I see birds, I think of them as like the ultimate free spirit, because they're flying. They can go wherever they would like, you know, from here to Indonesia, from Indonesia to Canada. They can go wherever they would like to go. They're free spirits. They're in the air. It's on them how far they would like to go, how far they would like to journey. And that's pretty much, maybe that's the vibe that you're on, that you're having this independence, maybe financially, or doing something creative that's creating a sustainability for you. And it may be like same kind of miracle, like a miracle work to them, because, you know, cow spirit represents like good projects, things coming together, things going in the right way, in the right direction. And then you also have the energy is gaining momentum, and we have harmony here, which is also about authenticity and also about personal power, self-respect. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's why they probably come off as like, maybe they feel like you're not in your form of integrity with this justice in reverse, or they feel like you're dodging karma. You know, they feel like, you know, like this, like you're prevailing. You know, and some people are obsessing about this power you have, because it's the emperor here, the emperor with connecting the people. You know, they feel like you have a power of connecting the people, but they feel like you're not quite doing things in the right way, or like it's not quite balanced. They feel like maybe it's not fair, and that's probably why a lot of people are obsessing about it. They feel like it's not fair, that it's not them. You know what I mean? Because they got bowling over. So it's more of like a frustration, an anger, maybe a jealousy. You know what I mean? And it has to do maybe with your house, cleaning up your house, cleaning up or putting on the finishing touches to a project, because, you know, passion came out first. So that means that this is more so about a passion project, your creative abilities, your entertainment, the way you enjoy yourself, the way you it's also a self-expression house too. So it could be that the way that you self-express. You know what I mean? And then being here, being now means that you're presently in this energy right here, and you're just tightening up, you know, the loose ends. And energy is gaining momentum towards more harmony, more endless miracles are coming in, and people just aren't liking that. That's what this pile is about. People just aren't liking that. They feel like you might be insincere, or you might not be honest about the type of money that you're getting, 'cause Six of Pentacles. Or they feel like you're being insincere with what you say, the help that you're giving to others. Because, you know, Six of Pentacles could be service to other people. So they could say that you're being insincere with the way that you're offering service to other people. You know, because that Emperor upright with the Justice in reverse gives me that energy of, like, you know, ill-gotten gains. Is that energy of being dominant but not being fair. You know what I mean? Just kind of taking advantage of people. You and avoiding your karma, not getting that kickback that you're supposed to get for taking advantage of people. So that's in that energy here, but they feel like you're gaining momentum and that the miracles are endless, so that more prosperity is going to keep falling on you, and they're just not happy. So this pile is just jealous. Okay, so pile 2, thanks for watching. This is your boy Noonie, and that's Leo in the 3rd house. Boom, pile 3. So, pile 3. Why are people currently obsessing over you now? Okay. Okay, so people see more of like a free spirit who does either learn to take charge, because that's like an energy here of learning how to take charge, or of a person who's learned how to go with the flow and not be a tyrant like previous leaders. Because it's like the solar calm, it shows up as an energy of needing to clarify. So it's it's this energy of them not quite really knowing what's going on, because it's kind of like a slow period. The solar calm represents it's like a time when the sun isn't like, I guess, at its hottest, or isn't having the solar storms that it normally have. Is more of a calm period. So it represents a resting period where there's no like harvest growing on, and there's no you're not doing anything new, you're not starting new projects or anything. So it's like there's just the energy of you kind of like taking peace, taking stock. And then we have this Virgo here. So you could be a Virgo, you could be a Capricorn, and we do have Pentacles and Wands and Swords energy here, but we have more Wands. So you could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And then with the Sun energy, this would give me a Leo energy as well. So you could be these signs, could be dealing with these signs, but what I'm getting here is you're learning about intimacy. All right, and people are like, they see that they're obsessing with the way you set boundaries. All right, because your boundaries are kind of free flowing. Maybe it's the energy of you not really having like you're changing your beliefs, because building blocks in reverse can also be about changing your beliefs. Because it kind of gives me that 4 of Pentacles feeling, where your Pentacles, the 4 of Pentacles, is usually about your traditions and holding on to your values and past beliefs. Which are usually handed down, familiar or ancestral. And so it could be something like that. But you have achievement here and digest, which I know is the breakdown of of nutrients, or the breakdown of things. And so I think you're changing your beliefs, and that's what's making a lot of people obsessed, because now it's more about committing to intimacy, committing to getting closer to know people. You're changing your boundaries, because that's really what stood out: authority and boundaries, set healthy boundaries. But it's in reverse, and it's right next to life is a mystery, which is about going with your instinct and like allowing life or spirit to show you what's going on in the world. Like, allow spirit to show you what's next, what your next step should be, what my next relationship should be. You're kind of being like this, you're in like a slow period where it's just like things can grow, but you're not forcing them. Because building blocks in reverse is like, I'm not tripping, I'm changing the beliefs and the patterns that I once thought were stable, and I'm not trying to build on like, it's like not trying to make anything be anything. Like, you're not trying to force things at all. Your commitment is being tested, though. For you, in this sense, it's like, because I'm looking at it, it says it can only get better right next to your commitment is being tested. And then you have, where the fuck is your sense of humor? And then you have the Page of Wands right next to it. So you're more of like a playful spirit, like a free spirit in a sense. You could come off as kind of whimsical, kind of, overly hopeful, overly optimistic, or just kind of open to whatever. You're just more so into exploring and seeing like what does life have to offer, but you're committed more so to actually getting more deep or getting more intimate with yourself, and knowing who you are. That way, it's like other people can expose themselves to you. So there's an achievement, like your beliefs, your core system, your core values have changed. That's really changed here. That's what's really different. And so it gives people this Five of Swords and this Page of Cups energy of feeling like, you're not always being the most honest with how you express yourself, and that the reason you express yourself when you share your feelings is in a way to win the battle, or in a way to, dominate, because Five of Swords is usually about like walking away from battle, sometimes having to take up arms anyway, but whenever a 5 shows up, I know there's a conflict that you're basically grew from, and so this is that energy, and they feel like maybe you're pretending that you've grown for this, or that you just didn't handle this disappointment that you had, or this disagreement that you had. They feel like maybe you don't handle disagreements like an adult. That might be it. They feel like you don't handle disagreements like an adult. So it's like you built, because Ten of Coins for me is always about building new beliefs, and that's usually about like family beliefs. And so maybe they feel like you're not really holding on to family traditions, family beliefs. The old way of doing things. For Ten of Pentacles for me is usually about the old way of doing things, or building your own beliefs, your own traditional system. A lot of it is ancestral, so that's what I was getting at before. So you could have been getting over some of these old ancestral patterns, and just finding who you truly want to be and who you truly are, and learning to set different boundaries than how they used to be, because life is a mystery. Right next to set healthy boundaries in reverse just gives me that energy of kind of like being a free flower, free thinker, and just kind of being more explorative of what life is going to show you. Like, you're not trying to be in control anymore, and that's where the achievement has come for you. It's like a final understanding, like you finally integrated, two ways of being within yourself now, and now you have your own level of personal authority and personal power, because we also have crown chakra here, and we have 10th house, which also has to do with authority, and it does with social beliefs, and with social standing, and with like elitism and all that. But mainly, each of these houses also represent the inner self. And so the 10th house and authority would represent an authority over yourself, like having your own personal power, trusting in yourself to make your own decisions. And with the solar plexus energy here, this is also about having, like I said, about having personal power. This is also about having integrity within yourself. This is also about being authentic to yourself and choosing you, choosing you at all times. And here it says, allow yourself to experience more joy and love. Raise your resonance by swimming in the sweetness of life. So yeah, you're really just like a fun-going, easy-loving, maybe a joker. You could be joking a lot, could be having a lot of funnies, a lot of hee-hee-ha-has, and and people feel like you're just not handling conflict in the most adult way. They feel like there's a certain way that you need to do things, and you have changed the way that you see boundaries. You change the dynamic of boundaries. Your boundaries have differentiated from how others expect you to have it, and that's what I feel like you've broken free of the Ten of Coins energy of keeping ancestral patterns or ancestral beliefs going. Like, you don't keep the same traditions. You're more confident in your own beliefs now with this Queen of Wands. This is more optimistic, and this is more of a truth speaker, a truth communicator. She's represented by the sign of Sagittarius. She's a blunt speaker. She's very optimistic, very outgoing, very charming. And so that's why they're obsessing over you, is because now you're embodying this free spirit energy of being very cocky. Well, not very cocky, but very confident, very self-assured, like a true speaker, a person who's uplifting of other people, and they feel like you're just being insincere or being a bit, whimsical with the way you see the world now. They feel like you're not handling conflict or turbulence in the best way. They feel like there's another way that you should be handling life. And that's pretty much why they're obsessing over you, pile 3. So, thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and that's Leo in the third house. Boom. Pile 4. So, pile 4. Why are people obsessing over you now? Well, for sure you're learning about duality. And you're learning that you have all the creative power within you. Okay? You could be going through a rough situation, a rough sticky patch where you're gaining your balance again, gaining your harmony within yourself. Could be facing your fears. Could be taking control. Oh, you got the sun and the moon. Ooh, snappy, dap. Hold up. That's your masculine and feminine energy. And then I see, look, this and that. So that's like duality, this and that. So maybe and then cultivate. Okay, so strength is showing up as the first card here, but it's in the oracle deck, right? And in this deck, dignified means a strengthened planet, or a strengthened house. It adds strength to, the aspects of whatever planet is there. So think of it as a planet or a place and time where the energies are working in your favor, and so that's where you're at. And now you're in a time of cultivating more abundance, cultivating your new beliefs, cultivating also strength, and maybe you could be working on your body. All right, so here's the signs you could be. You could be a Capricorn, you could be a Taurus, you could be a Sagittarius, you could be a Pisces, you could be a Aries, or you could be a Leo. You don't have to be these signs. You could just be emanating this energy. All right. But yeah, basically, I'm getting at you cultivating a new version of yourself. And this has to do with strength, willpower. And this is actually like energies that's like, so it's like you're taking the momentum that's working with you, and this is like being authentic to yourself, creating your own belief systems, or building up a stronger body as well. And so maybe you're doing something with your physical appearance, because Taurus is here, and that's my attractive sign. You could be doing something, and you have Leo here too, so you could be an attractive person right about now. And so maybe that's a big thing about why they're cultivating to you right now. You could be feeling yourself. It could be the energy too of feeling yourself as well. Because you got passion and you got Hecate, and Hecate is about being able to see all three places at once: the future, the past, and the present. But you're using the past and the present as a way to catapult yourself into the future. And so that's where you built your strength, because they're connected with passion and strength. And so your strength was built and how you integrate into the future, and becoming aware of how, because you got flow here, which is also solar plexus energy as well, which is personal power, independence, being strong. It's a lot of us, so a lot of the powers kind of had that same energy of being independent, being not personable, but being able to choose yourself. And that's the energy here. Like your belief system is changing. All right, you're facing your fears. You're illuminating, because the sun and the moon is right next to them. So you've illuminated a lot of the fears. Maybe the fear of intimacy, maybe the fear of just exposure, of being out there, or of being dominant, because we have the Emperor right next to the moon, which could be like a fear of being in control, a fear of being an authoritarian, a fear of long term, So it's something like that, of anything that's stable. So maybe you don't have that, because the Emperor could also represent, in a sense, consistency, because it's long term, it's endurance. The Emperor is the way that has always worked. And so maybe you're facing that aspect of doing something, or facing that part of yourself that has always done things a certain way, because you got strength and cultivate. And cultivate in this deck represents changing of your beliefs, or the strengthening of your beliefs. And so you could be doing one of those things, one of those two things. But I also have flow here, and this and that are true, which can mean that, with this and that are true, there's duality. That you realize that one way of being isn't necessarily correct or any more right than being in the other direction as well, or the other way of being, because temperance is here too, and temperance is coming into union with your feelings and with your thoughts and your emotions. They're in alignment, and you have it upright, you have it in an alignment. And then we have the Page of Wands right next to it, so that gives me this energy of you being very playful, very curious, maybe not always the most practical or most grounded in your approach, but it is kind of charming, and it maybe like there's an energy of kind of like being a bluntness to it too, because the Emperor is here as being blunt. So you're learning to be more creative with the way that you assert yourself. That's what it is. You're learning how to be more creative with the way that you assert yourself, and you're illuminating these fears. You know what I mean? So the sun can also represent like contentment, enjoying yourself. It's also like playful ghee, you know what I mean? And it's also illumination, you know what I mean? But it's self-expression. It rules Leo energy. Right? So it rules you expressing yourself now. Maybe you had a fear of expressing who you are, showing who you truly are, because that's what this all comes from. Like, it's like you're understanding how to turn it off and turn it on. You know what I mean? Where you can be serious when you need to be, but you can also be playful, and at the same time recognize that both of these aspects of you are true. All right? Because a change in the wind is like having an issue, struggling, or it's spiritually aligned for you to go through these changes, because it's a change, and it's a change that comes out of nowhere. And in reverse, it means that spirit is handling for you even if you can't see where you're going. And so that's kind of that energy. And then with the Temperance upright, this is you trusting in your third eye, trusting in the clarity and the visions that are being given to you, so you know where your next step is. Now, you might be a person, because I got Taurus here a lot, and you might be a person who eats pretty good food, because we have eat yummy shit, bacon, chocolate, beer, get some. So this could be, based on your food, your choice of eating, and Taurus is a sign of like senses. So they're definitely a connoisseur of food, clothes, material wealth. Like Taurus represents that. So you could be into that. Capricorn is similar to that too. Capricorn is more about like capitalism, control of resources. So that's something here. Maybe you've taken control of your resources, but whatever it is, they love you about your passion, your emotional depth, your emotional passion about the things that you care about, and it's connected to your beliefs, and it's connected to prosperity lies ahead. So they're obsessing about the money, and that something that you're doing is magic, is creating this, is creating stability, is creating wealth, is creating comfort, is creating material, it's materializing materials, and where people can see it, and they feel like you're in a flow now, because maybe for the other people there's a struggle, they have a struggle, and so they still kind of feel like you're being a bit whimsical, but they are also that spiritual aspect, because Temperance also has that spiritual aspect. So it's still that energy of the spiritual aspect, and you facing your fears, but being at one with yourself while facing these fears, and allowing your self-expression and your creative abilities to illuminate these areas of darkness for you. And that's where the flow is coming in. This is where you're learning to be more authentic, because like I said, the beliefs is what's changed. The beliefs have changed. It's similar to pile 3, but your beliefs are changing. You're learning from past, because Capricorn represents traditions. So you could be learning from like past traditions, and then bringing upward, the new, like your new beliefs that you have, and then building on that. So that's what a lot of people are like obsessing about. It's like a new version of you, but it's still like a powerful version, because they see you as the Emperor. It's just like they don't really quite see you clearly. It's like they expect it. It's kind of like I said, it's like pile 3, where they expect you to be a certain way, but you're not quite that way. You have authority, you have power, you can be in charge, and you can be demanding and controlling, right? But you're very playful, you're very balanced and harmonious, you're easy to get along with, and you're not necessarily a person who tries to make things into anything. You just have like a go with the flow type of energy. Like, it's okay to be this way, and it's okay to be that way. And you're just handling situations that are turbulent with grace. Because this is all like aligned for you. You're just handling turbulence with grace, going with flow. And it says releasing and learning what it is that you need to do for you, and just being. And that's pretty much where you are. You're just being, and that's what's making a lot of people obsess about you. All right, so let's run the signs one more time. You could be a Sagittarius. You could be a Pisces. You could be an Aries. You could be a Leo. You could be a Taurus. You could be a Capricorn. And those are the signs I have. So, pile 4, that was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the 3rd house.